It's minicamp and OTA season, and today we're looking at the Washington Commanders and getting another look at Jayden Daniels throw the rock around and work through some drills. Before we dig in, though, you need to click that subscribe button right now because we're looking at practice every day. Rookie camp, minicamp, OTA, soon-to-be training camp, everything in between. That way you know what your players are doing. Those new rookies, those quarterback battles, those guys you're drafting in fantasy here soon. It's all right here. Click that button. Stop missing out. We're looking at Jayden Daniels right now. I got 4 minutes of clips here. We're going to let it roll. We're going to loop this and keep talking ball, but there we are. There we are. Boom. Getting it out. Getting it out there. There's McCaffrey. Stepping back there. Pitch and catch will look like pitch and catch. And everything's looking solid. Here's some more. Getting it out there. Getting loosened up. Here's some more. Down there. Boom. Also saw some clips on Deebo Samuel. Might have those posted here soon as well. Also heard some stuff about Terry McLaurin not being happy, not being extended yet. But that's on social media, so I do not know how extensive that is when it regards his feelings. But that's what I saw. There it is, getting the ball out. Again, I always just question things whenever I read it. Standing back there, flipping it. Jayden Daniels. Now, when we were looking at these clips last year, here's him slinging it deep. A lot of people had questions, saying he was too thin, saying he was overrated, this, that, in the comments section. We had a good season last year, of course. One of the better rookie quarterbacks coming our way in a bit. The thing about him, though, I think we can take it to another level. I think we can push this team to another level. And I think we can get ourselves in that top category among the people who are in and out of watching football. The people who are in on watching Jayden Daniels off the rip, they understand he's a solid prospect. But those people that need to see more, those people, I won't say like more casual, those people ain't really paying attention to football in June right now, but those types of people, because Jayden, that's decorated, that can push it downfield with accuracy, and that's what I like about his game. And then we also showed, even before the NFL, that we're able to go from one program to another, gel quickly, and adapt to the new system and be productive. From Arizona State to LSU, from high school to Arizona State, we showed that. Now we showed that again here going to the NFL. I like players that show that throughout their collegiate careers. I get it. Some players can't because they stay at the same college their whole career, and I understand that. But when a player shows you that, they show you the potential of their ability to adapt, learn, and develop into a new situation. You're seeing that with Jayden Daniels. You're seeing that with Jayden Daniels. And he's looking good on the field. He's looking solid. And we're in OTAs Minicamp season. And a lot like last year, getting the ball out, flicking it, accurate downfield, leading the drills. I will say this, compared now to what we saw this time last year, watching all the clips, very poised, more in tune, more like we've had a year under our belt. Like, this is his team now. Like, we know it. Like, we knew it going in, but we feel it. You can definitely tell. Definitely tell. There's Deebo. Got some clips on him. I think I got enough to do a video on him, so I'll have one out sooner than later. But Jayden Daniels is a player that, he's a top quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He really lived up to the upside. I wouldn't be surprised if there's volatility in the second year. After all, that tends to happen on second-year quarterbacks. But also, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets better, if he starts developing even more and pushes this Commanders team. You added Deebo Samuel, who is really a great fit because you got Terry McLaurin to push it downfield. Terry McLaurin getting it downfield and what he did last year, being productive, being consistent week in and week out, and Deebo underneath getting the yards after the catch. I think you got a good combo there with everything you got. You got a good tandem at running back. You got Brian Robinson, and you got Austin Eckler. Eckler's good at catching the ball out of the backfield, older running back. prospect, Krosky Merritt. Merritt, solid running back prospect that you got later in the draft that could turn some heads later. That's something you could be looking at. But Jayden Daniels here, just solid. Ben Sinnott is a tight end prospect that we're paying attention to. Ertz looked solid. If we take a step forward with some of these young guys with him, this could be a team that could be a monster. But he's really turned around the franchise. He's really turned things around for this team. We got some excitement back here for the Commanders. We got some excitement back here in Washington. You watch him sling the rock around. He's got a cannon on him. He's accurate downfield. He's showed that last year. We knew that coming in. What I see from Daniels last year and in clips, like right there, accurate downfield. Showed it throughout his collegiate career. Has a lot of experience. That's one thing we're looking at quarterbacks coming out of college is their experience and where they were at and how many reps they got throwing the football. He definitely has that. Big moments in the SEC level. That is something to look at there. I know you had Malik. Watch him navigate this process. It's interesting to see how Deebo Samuel acclimates to this team, how much we got left in the tank, and how well fit with Jayden Daniels and company. But I think he's going to fit well with this team. Got a good quarterback slinging a rock. You got a stud wide receiver taking the top off. And then McCaffrey going into year 2. Looked good at Senior Bowl last year. Looked good at Senior Bowl. Had some Senior Bowl hype out of him. And he's transitioning from the quarterback position still, playing wide receiver, but can create separation. That's another player to pay attention to throughout training camp to see if he takes a step forward. Like, we weren't expecting much out of him as a rookie. Honestly, we're just seeing if he takes a step forward. He's a upside prospect, honestly, because of him just developing still. Like, there's just a lot of meat on the bone still in his developmental process. And that's one of the reasons we're looking at him and paying attention to him. Fantasy-wise, that's really outside the scope. But for this team, that could be a huge help. Fantasy-wise, it's Daniels, McLaurin, that connection. Seeing what's going on with Deebo. Seeing the price of Deebo. And if he can get to a point where he can get consistent with that top production. Because fantasy is just about getting top production, honestly. Can we fit in enough to get that top production? I believe we can get volatile production. I believe we can get that. And I think there's room to grow in this offense for him to get you something. It just depends on the price, where you're at in your draft. Typically, where I see him at, I'm done at wide receiver almost, and I'm hammering running backs. Especially in that zone in the middle rounds to the back end of the draft. I'm taking a lot of my flyers, especially there. If I'm looking at Dynasty, a lot of people will tell you he's a sell due to the age. Nobody's been buying him due to the age for like the last 3 years, at least from what I've seen and experienced. He's just a prospect that's on a discount here that you might be able to catch on the cheap if you're interested. I look for him to get an okay target share. I look for him to have his moments this year, as long as he's healthy and on the field. I look for it to be volatile to start things off, and maybe we gel well to where we can be more than that. But getting that at the price tag, which honestly should be super cheap. Should be super cheap or like unable to get, because I'm not going to just give them away if I can just use the production to try and win some money. That's the thing, is there's a stalemate with Deebo Samuel. And some people are able to get him. Usually, you have to be creative with the deal. Like, honestly, you're going to have to be creative. Like, he's probably not going to be the main focal point in your deal. You're probably going to have a trade for something else. And he's kind of like the secondary option with their secondary option. And that's how you're going to be able to get it done. 1-for-1, like, if you're a rebuilding team, he's gone. If you're middle of the road or better and you feel like you got a fighting chance, you're just really just kicking the tires, see what comes back at you either way, honestly. But Deebo Samuel could be an interesting piece for this offense. I think it's going to help Jayden Daniels out a lot. But Jayden Daniels going into year 2, we got more upside, could be developing it even further into his career. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.